Okay, so if you're an entrepreneur or a real estate investor, you know this pain. Finding a great deal is tough, for sure. But getting a lender to actually pay attention to it, that can feel like the real mountain to climb. So let's dive into how you can cut through all that noise and actually get your deal funded.
To really wrap your head around the challenge, you gotta understand the competition. Just imagine you're a private lender. It's Monday morning, you open your inbox, and bam, 20 new loan requests are sitting there. By the end of the week, that number has shot up to over 100. So your deal, it's not just competing on its own merits. No, it's literally fighting for air in a super crowded room.
So that's the core question, isn't it? I mean, you could have the most amazing, perfectly structured deal in the world, and it can still get buried in that huge pile of maybes if it isn't presented in just the right way. In this explainer, we're going to unpack a real-world playbook that answers that exact question.
All right, let's make this real. Let's look at a deal that was seriously high stakes. This wasn't just some simple transaction. It was a really complex, mission-driven project with a deadline so tight the whole thing was basically teetering on the edge of a cliff.
And the scale here was just massive. I mean, we're talking about a sprawling foster care campus down in Crockett, Texas. That's 26 different buildings on over 69,000 acres. But here was the kicker. The operators were facing this huge challenge. They urgently needed $5.3 million to buy out their silent partners. This wasn't just some side deal. It was the one critical move that could unlock a future $100 million development plan.
So right away, you know they couldn't just walk into any old bank. Because this was a mission-driven asset, they needed a lot more than just a check. They needed a capital partner who actually got the complexities, who believed in the community impact, and, this is key, could move decisively under some serious pressure. And this is where a firm called 50 Stones Capital Group enters the picture. They took a look at this complicated, messy deal and saw something that others completely missed, a huge opportunity to empower some really transformative work. And, you know, this quote from their CEO, Mark Shea, it just nails their whole philosophy. They're all about backing dedicated operators and projects with real community impact. So when things get messy and other lenders get nervous and hit the pause button, that's when 50 Stones leans in. And they delivered. Big time. 50 Stones closed an $11 million bridge loan. And you know, a bridge loan is exactly what it sounds like. It's a short-term loan to bridge that gap until you can get your long-term financing locked in. This one move secured the partner buyout, it stabilized the entire facility, and it paved the way for that massive expansion. It was a huge test of execution, and they absolutely nailed it.
Okay, so that's an amazing outcome, right? But the big question is, how? Did they pull it off so fast when traditional lenders would have been stuck in meetings for months? Well, the answer is all in their business model. It's what we're calling the direct lender playbook. So what exactly is a direct lender? Well, the idea is actually pretty simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Basically, they're funding loans with their own money. Think about that. No middleman, no investment committee halfway across the country, no waiting around for outside approval. And because they handle the whole shebang in-house, they have total control, which all boils down to two things every single borrower is desperate for: speed and the certainty that the deal will actually close.
And this is where you can really see the difference side by side. The traditional lending world, well, it can be stressful, confusing, and you get these lenders who might give you a commitment letter that, and I love how 50 Stones puts this, is as real as a unicorn. The direct lending approach just flips that whole script. Instead of slow, layered approvals, you get quick decisions made in-house. They don't want to be just another stepping stone. Their whole goal is to be the finish line. It's a huge shift from a rigid process to creative, outside-the-box problem solving.
And look, the proof is in the pudding, right? You can see it in their track record. I mean, in just 4 years, they funded over $786 million. That's across 86 different deals. This isn't just some theory they have. It's a model that's proven to work again and again to get deals across that finish line.
Okay, so we've seen how a direct lender thinks, how they operate. Now, let's flip the script.
So how do you, the person with the deal, make sure your deal is the one they want to lean in on? It really all comes down to that first impression, that virtual handshake when you first present your deal. Lenders see the same mistakes that kill deals over and over and over again. The vague summary with no real numbers, the email with just a random dump of 20 different documents attached, asking for a call just to ask a few questions that are right there on the website. Or, maybe the worst one, refusing to follow the simple process the lender has laid out. These aren't just little pet peeves. These are massive red flags that can get a fantastic deal thrown in the trash before anyone even looks at it.
Okay, so if you want to make your request absolutely irresistible, here's the playbook. 4 simple steps. Number 1, kick things off with a super clear one-page summary. This is your elevator pitch on paper. 2, tell a great story. What's the why behind all those numbers? 3, give them everything they need right up front. Think about their questions and answer them before they even have to ask. And finally, number 4, just be transparent, be real. Acknowledge the risks, but then show them you've already figured out the solutions. That's how you build trust from day 1. So the next time you're putting a loan request together, don't just ask yourself, is this a good deal? Ask yourself this: have I made it irresistible? Because remember, the deal itself, that's only half the battle. The story you tell, that's what gets you in the door.